Ladies and gentlemen, tough times don't send you a calendar invite. They just show up, sometimes with no warning. And if you're not prepared mentally, emotionally, financially, you can find yourself scrambling, drifting, even sinking. But let me remind you of something simple and powerful. It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. First, you've got to protect your mental territory. Tough times will mess with your head if you let them. Read the right books, listen to the right voices, and guard the gates of your mind. You can't afford toxic thoughts when you're trying to rebuild. No sugarcoating. Be brutally honest. If your finances are a mess, say it. If your relationships are broken, admit it. Clarity is power, and you can't fix what you won't face. Distraction is a luxury you can't afford in crisis. Shut off the drama, mute the chaos, and turn up the volume on discipline, focus, and action. In any tough season, the basics become vital. Eat right, sleep enough, move your body, build routine. The simple stuff is the solid stuff. Tough times often disconnect us from the bigger picture. So sit still, revisit your why. Your future is calling, don't hang up because the present is difficult. You can't stop the economy, you can't fix everything, but you can get up early. You can stay organized, you can show up prepared. Find the lever you can pull and pull it with all your might. Tough times reveal real friends. They also reveal people who drain your hope. Choose your company like your life depends on it because it just might. You don't just live the experience, document it, reflect on it. Let the pain become your professor. What you write today could become your wisdom tomorrow. Don't just do something, do the right thing. Think, then move, plan, then execute, and even if it's just one step a day, that's still forward. You've got two dogs in your soul, one named fear, the other named faith. The one that wins is the one you feed. So read what builds you, listen to what uplifts you, speak what strengthens you. When life gets tough, when challenges come at you from every direction, the first thing that's going to make or break you is your mind. You see, the most important battle in life is fought within the walls of your own figure. If your mind is weak, if your thinking is scattered, if your focus is compromised, you're already at a disadvantage. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside, the real game is played on the inside. That's where everything begins. So if you want to survive, if you want to thrive in tough times, you've got to fortify your mind. The first step is protecting it. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and you've got to treat it like it is. That means guarding what you allow to enter it. Pay attention to the information you consume. You can't let just anything or anyone into your thoughts. The news, social media, gossip, these things will try to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity in your mind. If you let them, they will control your focus and your outlook. And let me tell you, it's easy to get lost in that negativity. Instead, feed your mind with the right fuel. Read books that inspire you, listen to podcasts that challenge you, engage with material that strengthens you. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. So make sure you're planting seeds of growth, optimism, and strength. Listen to those who have walked the hard road before you and have emerged stronger. The right input leads to the right output. And it's not just about what you put in, it's about what you guard against. You have to be discerning, careful about the people you allow to speak into your life. Toxic people, negative influences, they will sabotage your progress. You can't afford to let them in. Surround yourself with individuals who elevate your thinking, who challenge you to think bigger, act bolder, and rise higher. But here's the key. Fortifying your mind is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every day you have to make a conscious decision to protect your thoughts and nurture your mindset. Just like you need to feed your body regularly, you need to feed your mind. Your mental diet will determine the strength of your resilience when the storms hit. And understand this, your mind will try to talk you out of doing the things that build it. It will resist. It will say, you don't have time to read today. You don't need that workout. You can skip that motivational podcast. That's the mind working against you. Your job is to outsmart it. Choose to do what builds you, not what's easy. Strengthen your mind with consistency, and the results will show up in your actions, your decisions, and your ability to handle anything life throws your way. If you fortify your mind, the rest will follow. Tough times will come, but your mind will be ready for them. And when it is, you will rise above the challenges that would have otherwise knocked you down. You can't make progress until you know exactly where you stand. And I'm not just talking about your external circumstances. I'm talking about a brutal, unflinching honesty with yourself. It's easy to pretend, to make excuses, or to tell yourself that things aren't as bad as they really are. But let me tell you something, that kind of denial only prolongs your suffering. The truth is, if you're in a tough spot, you've got to call it what it is. It's not weak to admit where you are, it's wise. In fact, that's the first step toward turning things around. You can't fix something you don't acknowledge. You can't get to where you want to go if you're pretending everything's fine when it's not. Look at your life with a clear, objective eye. Take stock of your finances, your relationships, your health, your habits, your environment. Don't sugarcoat it. Where are you truly? If your bank account is empty, don't make excuses. If your relationships are strained, don't sweep it under the rug. If your health is deteriorating, don't turn a blind eye. This isn't about beating yourself up. This isn't about feeling guilty or ashamed. It's about facing reality because reality is your starting point. If you're in a tough spot, accept it for what it is. Only when you see the situation for what it is will you be in a position to change it. You can't move forward if you keep pretending you're not stuck. Now, getting honest with yourself means asking hard questions. Questions like, what got me here? What choices, habits, and decisions brought me to this point? It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or luck, but take full responsibility for where you are. When you own your situation, no matter how challenging, you take back your power. It's a bold move, but it's necessary if you want to move forward. But here's the good news. Once you're honest with where you are, you open the door to solutions. Honesty is liberating. It's the key that unlocks the door to growth and change. When you face reality, you take control of it. No longer are you a victim of your circumstances. You're a creator, a problem solver, a strategist. You know exactly where you're starting from, and now you can map out the way to where you want to go. So stop pretending. Be real with yourself. Be honest about where you are, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Because that's the only way to move from where you are to where you want to be. And trust me, once you make that commitment to truth, the transformation begins. It might not be easy, but it will be worth it. In tough times, you're going to face a lot of distractions. Everyone has an opinion. There are voices everywhere from the media, from social networks, from friends, from family. Everyone is talking, and it seems like everyone has something to say about what you should be doing, how you should be feeling, what you should believe. The problem is most of it isn't helping you. It's just noise, and if you're not careful, that noise will drown out your clarity, your focus, and your ability to make the right decisions. You see, when you're in the middle of a storm, the last thing you need is to be pulled in every direction by irrelevant chatter. You need clarity, not confusion. You need a clear path, not a maze of mixed messages. But the noise, it's everywhere. People are anxious, they're scared, they're uncertain. And if you're not careful, you'll start taking on their anxiety, their fear, their confusion. You'll start doubting yourself, second-guessing your choices. And when that happens, you're no longer in control. You've handed over your power to the noise. Here's the thing, not every conversation deserves your attention. Not every piece of information is valuable. If you spend your time absorbing every piece of news, every social media update, every opinion, you're only robbing yourself of precious energy and focus. The truth is, most of it doesn't matter. Most of it won't move you forward. Most of it is just static distractions that keep you from seeing clearly, acting decisively, and moving with purpose. So if you want to survive the tough times, you have to get ruthless about what you allow into your life. Start by cutting out the things that don't serve you. If the news is making you anxious, turn it off. If social media is draining your energy and making you doubt your progress, take a break. If people around you are spreading fear or negativity, set boundaries. You need to protect your mental space the same way you protect your physical space. It's not just about eliminating noise, though. It's about focusing on what matters most. When the distractions are gone, you'll find that your attention is more valuable than ever. So ask yourself, what do I need to be focusing on right now? What actions can I take that will actually move me closer to where I want to be? What people, what sources, what habits will fuel my growth and keep me on track? When you cut through the noise, you find the signal, the clear, powerful, important things that will guide you. You find the truth beneath all the distractions, the purpose beneath all the confusion, the answers beneath all the questions. And you act on them. The key to cutting the noise is the discipline to say no to distractions, no to things that drain you, no to anything that isn't pushing you toward your goal. It's the discipline to say yes only to the things that matter, the things that build you up, the things that get you closer to your vision. And let me tell you something, it's not just about cutting the external noise, it's also about quieting the internal noise. The self-doubt, the worry, the second-guessing. You have to quiet your own mind and focus it on the right things. If you let your mind wander to fear, to what-ifs, to worst-case scenarios, you'll be paralyzed. So take control of your thoughts. Don't let them run wild. Bring your focus back to what matters. The more you cut out the noise, the more you'll be able to hear your own voice, the more you'll be able to hear the call of your purpose. And that's what you need in tough times, a clear, focused mind, able to hear the right guidance and take the right actions. So be disciplined, be focused, and don't let the noise drown out your clarity, your decisions, and your future. When life gets tough, it's easy to want to look for complicated solutions, grand strategies, or quick fixes. But let me tell you, in the middle of a storm, it's not the complex plans that will keep you standing. It's the basics, the fundamentals, the simple core principles that you might take for granted when things are going smoothly, but become the foundation of your survival when things get rough. In moments of adversity, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to complicate things. What you need is to get back to the basics, the things that have always worked and always will. And I'm talking about the simple disciplines, the daily habits, the steady routines that make up the framework of your life. Think about it. When you're in a tough spot, how are you eating? How are you sleeping? Are you getting enough rest, or are you running on fumes? How are you treating your body? The fundamentals of health, eating well, sleeping well, staying active, they are the bedrock of any successful life, especially in tough times. You can't run a marathon on an empty tank. You've got to fuel your body with the right nutrition, give it rest, and keep it moving. What about your finances? Are you managing money wisely, or are you making poor choices that only add to your stress? The fundamental principles of financial success, saving, budgeting, investing, have stood the test of time. You don't need to be an expert to know that if you spend more than you earn, you'll end up in trouble. And if you're in debt, now's the time to get serious about paying it down. The fundamentals of financial discipline, living within your means, building a safety net, and planning for the future are more important than ever in tough times. What about your relationships? How are you showing up for the people who matter most? In times of hardship, it's easy to withdraw, to get so focused on your own problems that you forget about the people around you. But remember, relationships are the glue that holds everything together. Invest time in the people who lift you up. Reconnect with the basics of kindness, communication, and trust. The simple act of being present for others, of showing up consistently, will carry you through more than you can imagine. And what about your mindset? The fundamental principle of success in any area of life starts with your thinking. If you don't have the right mindset, nothing else will work. You need to return to the basics of positive thinking, gratitude, and self-discipline. You need to remember that your attitude, your perspective, and your habits of thought will shape the life you live. It's easy to fall into a negative spiral when things go wrong, but the fundamental truth is that your mind can either be your greatest asset or your worst enemy. Choose wisely. Now, when you return to fundamentals, you're not just going through the motions. You're doing them with intention. You're choosing to eat better because you know it will give you the energy to push through. You're choosing to sleep well because rest is essential for clarity and decision-making. You're choosing to take control of your finances because financial security gives you peace of mind. You're choosing to strengthen your relationships because they will support you when you need it most. You're choosing to protect your mindset because it will carry you through the storm. The key is consistency. It's the daily habits done over and over that will keep you moving forward no matter what's going on around you. Success doesn't come from the occasional big breakthrough. It comes from the small, consistent actions that compound over time. And when things get tough, those little fundamental actions are the ones that will make all the difference. So if you're facing tough times, don't try to do something fancy or complicated. Don't go chasing after every new opportunity that promises instant success. Instead, focus on the fundamentals. Get back to the basics and do them consistently. Stay disciplined. Keep your focus. And when the storm has passed, you'll find that the fundamentals were what kept you standing. When the going gets tough, it's easy to lose sight of why you started in the first place. The weight of the challenges, the pressures of the moment, the fear of the unknown, they all have a way of clouding your vision. And when that happens, you're left adrift, reacting to the crisis instead of moving with purpose toward your goal. But here's the truth. Your vision is your anchor. It's what gives you direction when the world around you is spinning out of control. Without it, you're just wandering, hoping for something to change, but never really moving anywhere. But when you reconnect with your vision, when you remember why you're doing what you're doing, everything shifts. The first thing you have to realize is that your vision is bigger than your circumstances. It's bigger than the temporary difficulties you're facing. It's a long-term picture, a compelling future that you've painted for yourself. When tough times hit, it's easy to shrink your vision to fit your present reality. You start to think, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should settle for something less. Maybe I just need to get through today. But that kind of thinking is the quickest way to stay stuck. Your vision isn't about today, it's about tomorrow and the next day and the future you're building. So in times of adversity, take a step back and remember what you're working toward. Revisit your dreams. Look at them again with fresh eyes. Think about why you started this journey, why you took that leap in the first place. What did you see for yourself when you set out? What kind of life did you envision? And more importantly, who did you envision yourself becoming? When you reconnect with your vision, you reconnect with the future that's waiting for you. And that future, no matter how far off it may seem, is what will carry you through the hard times. It's the fuel that will keep you moving forward when it feels easier to quit. The days may be hard, but your vision is bigger than any momentary setback. It's a guiding light that keeps you focused, keeps you motivated, and keeps you on track. But here's the key. Your vision has to be clear. It can't be vague or wishy-washy. You have to know exactly what you want. If your vision is blurry or undefined, it's easy to get distracted, to get off course. So get specific. What does your ideal life look like? What kind of impact do you want to make? What does success look like to you? The clearer your vision, the easier it is to align your actions with it, no matter what obstacles come your way. And remember, your vision is not just about achieving something outside of you. It's about becoming someone better in the process. It's about growing, evolving, and stepping into the person you were meant to be. You're not just building a business, a career, or a lifestyle. You're building your character, your strength, your resilience. That's the real payoff. When you reconnect with your vision, you don't just see what's possible, you feel what's possible. You start to believe again that what you're working toward is not only possible, but inevitable. You tap into a deeper sense of purpose that pulls you forward, even when your strength is fading. And when you feel that, you can face any challenge with a new level of commitment and resolve. So, in tough times, don't shrink back from your vision. Don't let fear or doubt dim your dreams. Reconnect with your vision and let it reignite your passion. Let it remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. And if you keep that vision in front of you, if you let it guide your steps, you'll find the strength to not only survive the tough times, but to come out of them stronger, wiser, and closer to the person you were always meant to become. And when the world feels like it's spiraling out of control, it's easy to feel powerless, overwhelmed by the circumstances around you. But here's the truth. In any situation, no matter how tough, there's always something you can control. In fact, finding that thing and taking full control of it can be the key to not just surviving tough times, but thriving in them. You see, when life is unpredictable, when things are uncertain, there's a tendency to focus on everything you can't change. The economy, the weather, other people's actions, the political landscape, all of these things may be out of your hands, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. The moment you start focusing on things beyond your control is the moment you give away your power. The key is to shift your focus to what you can control. Maybe you can't control the market, but you can control how you respond to it. Maybe you can't control what other people say or do, but you can control how you react to them. Maybe you can't control how fast things are moving around you, but you can control your pace. The more you focus on the things within your grasp, the more empowered you feel. And in tough times, feeling empowered is essential. So ask yourself, what's in my control right now? What aspects of your life can you influence? What can you take charge of today, right now, this very minute? It might be something simple like how you structure your day, how you take care of your health, or how you manage your finances. It might be something deeper like the attitude you choose to adopt in the face of adversity, the mindset you decide to hold on to, or the habits you develop to stay productive. But the most important thing is to choose something and then control it. Start with one area, however small, and gain mastery over it. Control it with discipline, consistency, and focus. When you focus on something you can control, you give yourself a sense of accomplishment and strength, even in the toughest situations. That sense of control will fuel your confidence and remind you that you do have power, even if it feels like everything else is falling apart. You have to remember that in tough times, it's the small wins that matter. When everything else seems uncertain, control the things you can and use that control as leverage to build momentum. It could be as simple as organizing your workspace, sticking to a workout routine, or controlling your emotional responses to stress. These small, controlled actions add up. They compound. They build a foundation that will hold you steady as the storm rages around you. And here's the key: control doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you're going to have everything figured out or that you won't make mistakes. But it does mean you're taking responsibility for your actions, your thoughts, and your decisions. It means you're not sitting back waiting for the world to change for you. You're actively shaping what you can. If you focus on what you can control, the chaos around you becomes less intimidating. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your own response. The truth is, you can't always control the events in your life, but you can always control your response to them. And that's where your power lies. So when the world seems out of control, when the challenges feel overwhelming, take a step back and find something you can control. Own it, master it, and as you do, you'll realize that even in the toughest times, you have the ability to take charge, to make progress, and to move forward one step at a time. One of the most powerful things you can do in tough times is take a long, hard look at the people you surround yourself with. In times of adversity, you don't need people who drain you, who bring negativity, or who allow you to stay comfortable in mediocrity. What you need more than anything are people who challenge you, who elevate you, and who push you toward your best self. Your circle is more than just a group of friends or acquaintances. It's the group of people whose energy, attitudes, and beliefs influence the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the life you create. And if you're going to survive tough times and come out of them stronger, you need a circle that reflects the mindset and values of someone who's determined to succeed no matter what. It's easy to keep people in your life because they've been there a long time, because they're comfortable, or because they don't challenge you too much. But here's the problem: when you surround yourself with people who don't push you, don't inspire you, or don't demand more from you, you start to think it's okay to settle. You start to think that mediocrity is normal and that it's okay to play small. That's dangerous. If you want to upgrade your life, you have to upgrade your circle. You've got to surround yourself with people who are doing things you want to do, who are thinking at a higher level, who are achieving the kind of success you aspire to. You need people who are hungry, who are constantly improving, who challenge the status quo, and who push the limits of what's possible. But it's not just about ambition, it's about energy. The people in your life either lift you up or bring you down. You can't afford to have people around you who are constantly negative, who are complaining about their circumstances, or who are satisfied with mediocrity. Their energy will seep into you. They will lower your standards. They will pull you into their world of excuses and limitations. And before long, you'll start to think that's the way things are. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with high achievers, with people who are passionate, who are relentless in their pursuit of growth, you start to think like they do. Their mindset becomes your mindset. Their energy becomes your energy. You start to see new possibilities for yourself. You start to raise your standards and expect more from yourself. Their success becomes a mirror, showing you what's possible when you push yourself to your limits. But here's the thing: upgrading your circle isn't just about being around successful people. It's about being around people who care about your success. You need people who will tell you the hard truths when you need to hear them, who will call you out when you're slacking, and who will celebrate your wins without jealousy or resentment. You need people who have your best interests at heart, who want to see you succeed, and who will hold you accountable. And don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to cut everyone out of your life. It's not about burning bridges or getting rid of people who don't align with your goals. It's about being selective about where you spend your time, who you invest your energy in, and who gets a seat at your table. You can still be kind and respectful to those around you, but you don't have to let them influence your path. You have the power to choose who you allow to shape your thoughts, your habits, and your future. When you upgrade your circle, you'll find that everything in your life starts to shift. The people you surround yourself with will either elevate you or drag you down. Choose wisely. Don't let fear of rejection or the comfort of familiarity keep you stuck in a circle that isn't helping you grow. Upgrade your circle, and you'll find that your life begins to upgrade as well. The company you keep is a reflection of where you're headed. So make sure that the people you surround yourself with are aligned with your goals, your vision, and your values. If you want to move to the next level, you need to be around people who are already there or who are on their way, and who will challenge you to grow into the person you were always meant to be.